Well, hello there, everybody. It's your boy Fury, and if you can see me here, hello there. It's your boy Fury. We're cooking with Fury again, and I'm going to show you, as long as the camera allows it, I'm going to show you my smoked and spicy and smoked mac and cheese, which is something I learned from another recipe from Chow. I didn't learn it there. I added my own flair to it, which means it was just, I learned how to make the bechamel elsewhere, but I'm going to show you how I make it the way I like it, by adding the extra cheese and the extra seasoning. So basically, to get started, I need my kosher salt. You'll need, of course, kosher salt for later. You'll need a whole box of mac and cheese, which is 8 servings, which is already here. If you're going to be doing this, it's going to be al dente. Okay? It's going to always be al dente when you're using it in that way. So it's always al dente. So, just give me a second. I am going to make sure that this is shared where it needs to be shared. So people can know that I'm on. You're going to make a this is the process is going to be called the bechamel. But first, let me add some things to it. Okay. Process. I know, let me just put this here. Paste. And there we go. Post it. Excellent. Alright, now let's go to my app while I get everything situated. Hello? Alright, I was in the process of doing something, I'm sorry. Alright. So what I'm doing right now, yeah, I was just in the process of taking care of something, but I go to her when I tell her, like, I'll just ring the bell when I'm ready. So oh crap. No, you know what, tell her she can go back on. I'll let her know, like, just continue on. This is something I'm taking care of. Alright, then I'll call you back. I'll let you know how everything go. Okay. Yes. Yeah, that's why I'm gonna let her know. So can you call her back, or can you call her back, let her know, like, it's alright, I'll ring her doorbell and let her know. Okay. Alright, bye-bye. Alright, sorry about that, people. Business. So there we go. We are here. Alright, the whole process is like this. You're gonna need a pot, of course. You're gonna need a saucepan, because that's where most of your actions are gonna happen. So initially, I'm going to get everything set up here, and I just want to make sure everything is just everything here. Let me just make sure this volume's down. Alright, so the whole process is like this. You need 1 quart of milk. Crap, I'm so damn clumsy. Oh, it's a shame. Alright, you're going to need 1 quart of milk like this. 1 quart of milk into a saucepan. Pour it in, not saucepan, into a pan. You know, 1 quart is 4 cups of milk. Pour that into there. The whole key is not to bring it to a boil, it's to scald it. So we're gonna do it at a high level. We're gonna run that. In the meantime, as that runs, I'm gonna show you, you need 8 ounces of sharp cheddar. You're gonna need 7 ounces of smoked Gouda, which is the kicker for the smoked flavor. And you're gonna need about 3 ounces of pecorino romano. About right here, but I couldn't do that, so I had to go with Parmesan Romano because a lot of places didn't have pecorino. So it is what it is. So in the meantime, let me get my gloves on. We're gonna cut up the cheese as the milk begins to scald. Okay, so meanwhile, I don't want to do it too high. Let's do that medium so it can really start to go. You're going to need a stick of margarine. I'll show you what you're going to need this for later on. You get my knife. Meantime, trust me, it don't have to be the smallest pieces that you cut this into. But what's going to happen is that once it gets inside what we call a bechamel, it's going to melt. Yeah. Make these things so tough to come off. So I'm in the bechamel process right now. As the milk heats up, as you see right here, so we'll bring it a little bit closer into the range so y'all can see the milk right there as I get the cheeses ready. And good morning to anybody watching. I'm in the chat section. Don't feel free to say good morning or drop a like or whatever, or talk to me at real time. Keep me company. This is the smoked Gouda, 7 ounces smoked Gouda right here. You don't need to do it in the super tiniest amounts, but if you want to melt faster, you can do, by all means, have at it. You can smell that smokeness, or smokeness, that's not even a word. I can smell that smoked smell. Alright. So, in the process, we're cutting it on the smoked Gouda right now. As the milk is scalding, do not bring it to a rolling boil. Make sure you scald it. Maybe I will chop it in small pieces as I want it to be in, but you don't need to go through all that. Like I said, the heat, once you see the whole process of making a bechamel, you're going to understand that the heat is going to take care of the melting of the cheese. So you're dicing it up. All 7 ounces of it. I'm losing my patience. I don't need them to be that small. Okay. Go. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Almost done with the smoked Gouda. Meanwhile, I'm looking at the top to see if there's any frothing. Not yet. So you got the smoked Gouda chopped up. Now we move to sharp. If you want to be fancy and splurge on the most aged, by all means have at it, but you just need basically sharp or extra sharp. Alright, there we go. Move that piece out the way. Now the sharp cheddar. And there you go. Now, save the time. Put them all in a row and try to cut them down this way. You chop whatever way you want to chop. If you want to use a food processor, by all means, and you got one that can shred it up, get the shredding. But for the sake of me just wanting to go through this whole process of cutting for you guys, I'm going to cut it just like that. And now, because of its shape, it's an easier cutting process. You got these right here. Now, I couldn't find the solid Pecorino Romano like I was telling you guys a moment ago. I couldn't find that. So I'm using this whole thing here. Anyway, let me take this, put it in the recycle bin. Alright. Now, 3 ounces of this is what you're going to want. Alright. Nice. Okay. Now the milk is starting to scald, as you can see. A little bit. Shut it off. Shut it off. Pull it to the side. The milk is scalded. Put it to the side. You're going to need that later on. Already have al dente, because with the noodles, you cook to al dente. Like, just here, because don't worry, it's going to all harden back, and it's going to moisten and cook and continue cooking to softer form once they get inside the melted cheese and the heat. So don't worry about that. Make sure they al dente. And now I'm going to use this thing here. And I'm going to measure 3 ounces. I need a bowl. There's my bowl at. Just take this, no, not this bowl. This bowl here. And put this on my food scale. And I'm going to measure 3 ounces of this. Ounces. Set. Bam. Just like that. 3 ounces. So I got my 3 cheeses ready to go. Now, the milk is scalded. As you can see, it's scalded. The whole process is here. And I'm going to move over to the whole situation. I'm going to move over to making the bechamel right now. Alright. Now I'm going to heat it on medium high right now. Let's get the pan ready. And this is where the stick of butter comes into play. Yeah, they're on medium high right now. The stick of butter is going to come into play right now. We're going to move the noodles. And we're going to move the cheese over here a little bit. We're going to need these whole things right here. We got the unsalted butter. You can use salted if you want, I believe, but for the sake of this, we're going to add salt later. So unsalted would be the way to go probably. As we get the pan heated right now. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. Let me get a whisk. Because we're going to need a whisk. And we're just going to let the pan heat up. So, I hope everybody out there watching this, whoever's watching it, is having a good morning. If you watch it on the replay, what's good and everything. Let me just get a little bit of water to test it out. Matter of fact, I use a bit of ice to test out how hot the pan is. You hear the water sizzling? Alright. That means it's evaporating. That means, you see how fast this is an induction cooktop, people. This is how fast induction pretty much heats up overall in the pot area where it cooks at. So now that means the butter's ready. You take the butter and you drop the whole bar inside. And if you are watching this on Facebook or if you're watching YouTube, just share, people, bring in, let's talk. Let's get our cook on. Let's learn some things from one another. Alright, now I'm going to take the whisk and I'm going to move the butter around to accelerate the melting process. Melt that right here. Get that melted. Melt the entire stick of butter. And the next step would to be to gradually add in 1/3 cup of a 1/3 cup of flour. And you're gonna whisk it in gradually and to the melted butter mixture. Right now you really don't need nothing else but those 3 ingredients: the scalded milk, the 1/3 cup of flour. Now it's on medium high. I'm gonna turn it down to medium. Turn it to medium, and I'm gonna gradually start adding in the 1/3 cup of flour. Well, gradually my foot, that came out too much too soon, but let's mix what we got here. And we're gonna keep that going. Mix it around, nice and nice, just like that. We'll mix it around. I put in like half of it already, that was my fault. Get that all mixed in. There we go. See, it's starting to turn a little bit on the light brown side. We got the whole 1/3 cup of flour in, and I'm gonna let it brown just a little bit more, like this. I'm gonna let it brown a little bit more first. So let's get around. Don't worry if it turns a darker color brown. Once you add the milk mixture to it, it's going to turn white again. That's how genetics work. There you go. Now in this next process, I'm gonna have you turn the heat off. You turn the heat off. That's something you must do. After you melt the butter and mix in and whisk in the flour to make this brown color right here, this light brown color, shut the heat off in the next process before you gradually add in the scalded milk. You hear me? Shut it off before you add in the scalded milk. And I'm doing that now. Alright, the heat is off. And it's nice and brown. Now we're gonna come and we're gonna have the scalded mixture, and it's gonna be, don't be alarmed, it's gonna sizzle and steam. Be ready for that. Nice and easy. Nice and easy, just like that. See? And look how thick that turned. Look at that, y'all. You see that? See how thick it is with it? And that's with the heat off. That's just the heat of the mixture alone. Like that, the whole process. I'm going to show you. Let me see if I can do it from this angle. See, I want you to pay attention to the consistency. Look at that. And I moved it now, the heat completely off. Now we're gonna come back and add some more to it. A little bit and whisk. Just do that. It's gonna loosen back up. Trust me, y'all. Trust the process, y'all. Trust the process. And that's only 1/3 cup of flour. Do not use a half cup. Do not use a full cup. You only need a stick of butter, 1/3 cup of flour, and a quart of milk scalded to create a bechamel that I'm doing right now. There we go. Just doing it nice and easy, gradually adding it back in so it can loosen back up. And then once that's all added in, you're going to return it to medium heat. Medium heat. See, the color's turning light again. Right now, it looks like cream of wheat color. It's lightening from the brown that it was before. It's light. It's lightening up. Okay, whatever. Tongue twisted today. All right. There we go. Just keep going. Gradually, getting nice and nicer and nicer, and we just in a groove here, just whisking our lives away. Just whisking our lives away. Look at that now. Look how creamy that's starting to look, y'all. Look how creamy that's starting to look. And I got a little bit more milk. Well, I got some milk to go. Look at that. You see that? Look at that. Look at that. Almost look like a pudding or some cake mix to a degree. Now, let's keep adding, gradually adding. Same thing. It's gonna lighten up. More milk, more light, and then it will take on the color of the cheeses that I add in later on once I return it to heat. See? Just like that. See? Look at that. That is the whole bechamel process right there, if you don't mind. Look at that. Now, let's add more. Okay. More and more. All right. Lightning. Final pour it. I picked it up in a moment. And all the milk going. Now let's return that to medium high. Let's turn the heat back onto that. Get it bubbling again. And that's the bechamel process. Meanwhile, I'm gonna go douse this in the sink. All right. Now, in the whole process there, we're gonna thicken it back up a little bit by adding the heat back to it. The heat's back on, as you can hear. We adding that whole thing to the process, and we're gonna start adding in the kosher salt. Let me get my kosher salt. They say a tablespoon is all you need. A tablespoon equals 3 teaspoons, or vice versa, whatever you want to call it. So I'm gonna add one of those to this. This is all, everything you see here. This is the only seasonings I'm gonna be using besides the Carolina Reaper season. When I said smoked and spicy, I meant smoked and spicy, but not super spicy where you can't eat it. They complement each other pretty well. And once again, good morning to anybody watching. Talk to me. I'm watching the comment section, you know. Or maybe you just listening to me ramble on, and maybe you listening for the recipe. I don't know. But talk if you want to. Either way, I won't hold it against you. You got the whole process going there. And once we start to see a little bit of bubbling coming from it, we know it's ready for the cheese to be added. So I put the kosher salt in already. Now, let's go to the Carolina Reaper seasoning. Some people, I'm going to use a half teaspoon of it. Well, matter of fact, all I need is 1 teaspoon. Why am I looking ahead? The teaspoon is connected to the tablespoon. This is all you would need. Is either a teaspoon or half a teaspoon. It is what it is. Which one do you think I should want? Add the Carolina Reaper seasoning. Take a vote in the comment section. Should it be a half teaspoon or should it be a full teaspoon? Meanwhile, we getting it thick again. I won't add it just yet. Somebody, anybody, answer for me. Should it be a half teaspoon or a full teaspoon? Now it's time to add the cheeses in. We're going to start first with the Parmesan Pecorino Romano. We're going to add that in. Like that. We're going to add that one in. The cheese should melt pretty good. We're going to add that whole thing in. It's more of a whiter cheddar, so you're not going to really see the difference just yet. Oh, nobody's answering? Oh, damn. Okay. I'm gonna play it fast and loose. I'm gonna just basically, I'm gonna add in a I'm gonna add in a half one for now. Oh, it's starting to boil you. Let's turn it down a little bit. As I get the seasoning going, let me break off these pieces. F it. You're gonna go with you're gonna go with the whole table. You're gonna go with the whole teaspoon. I'm about to say tablespoon. I'm out my damn mind. This would do. That's it. I went with it. I made a executive decision to go with a full-on teaspoon. Let's mix that up in there, and we're gonna add the other cheeses in a moment. We got the Parmesan Romano. If that was a second, that was a override because I couldn't find Pecorino. If you got Pecorino Romano, use Pecorino Romano. Pecorino Romano. Now we're going to add in the smoked Gouda. It's on medium heat, people. Make sure you keep it on medium, so you don't want it to burn too much at the bottom. And you want to keep whisking it constantly to get the cheese, to melt the cheese around so it won't fall to the bottom and burn. So, and it will melt in the heat. So we adding in a smoked Gouda right now. Y'all can see the color of the Carolina Reaper seasoning has taken over. You can see a little bit of the specks from the peppers and the other ones. Okay. That is all of the That's all the smoked Gouda so far. You want to do it till you start to see less and less lumps. As you can see right now, the lumps of it, look at it, it's already melting. You can look at the edges and see that. You can already look at the edges and see it. See? You see it melting? That's what you want it to do. Get it going. I can smell that Gouda, that smoked Gouda. See, one of my favorite people to work with at my full-time job is a big fan of this recipe, and he told me, he's like, Outlaw, why don't you have a damn, he's like, why don't you start a food truck? I'm like, I don't consider myself a chef by any means or anybody professional, but I do. They like this recipe, and they like that a lot of people just look at a lot of things I like to cook, but I'm no chef by any means. Anybody can do this. Anybody can do this. All it takes is repetition. And the late David Carroll always said, repetition is the mother of all creation. That much I do remember. Alright. There we go. That's going good. Let me try to go elsewhere. And let's go here. Alright, just making sure the stream is healthy. Alright, good. Now, we got that going. The final step is the sharp cheddar. Let's get that sharp in there. That was a big chunk. I had to break it down. Right, as you can see, starting to get a little bit of color to it. The Gouda gave it some color. It's getting a little bit more color due to the color of the sharp cheddar cheese. Extra sharp, that is. Hopefully that makes up for me not having the pecorino, because pecorino got it like a distinct like bite to it, which I like, complemented with other cheeses, you know? Cheeses. I gotta pronounce that properly through my retainer. I got here my Invisaligns. Look at that. Right there, we got it. Cheese sauce is almost done. Got that going. Let me add the rest, some of these in. More of these in. Break this one up. Break that one up. Get that going a little bit more. There we go. Just trust the process, people. Meanwhile, let me cover up my kosher salt. Because kosher salt is potent. You'll only need you'll need a lot less kosher salt than you would of standard iodized salt. That's why you is recommended in the recipe. I modified this recipe, of course, to my own liking, and this is what we ended up with the with a smoked and spicy mac and cheese. That's just me being adventurous and wanting to try different things, and it stuck. It stuck, and now it's something I make. I go to the well to make. Look at that. Look at that cheese sauce, y'all. Look at that. Look at that. Cheese sauce. And once you, trust me, once you add it to you add the pasta to it, which is right here, al dente. Don't cook it more than al dente, because the heat's going to turn the noodles too soupy if you cook it well done. So keep it al dente so it can at least finish cooking to a puffier form inside the cheese mix right here. Keep it consistent like that. Alright. A little bit more cheese, and this is the remaining amount of cheese. Let's get this melted before we add the pasta in. Check the whisk, and look at that. Perfect. Perfect. I don't need to touch it up anymore. If you want to add a layer of breadcrumbs to the top of it, once you pour it into a pan before you bake it, have at it. Otherwise, I think it's still some cheese in there. Make sure you get around those edges. And it's still only on medium heat. And I'm just constantly doing that to make sure it don't stick at the bottom with the cheese and everything. You're gonna get some, but you don't want a big amount of it. So here we go. Now, I'm gonna turn it to medium low. It's on medium low now. Now let's add the pasta, and I already broke it up earlier. Oh crap. Oh crap. Oh crap. I done fucked up. Alright. Alright, let me break this a little bit. Don't worry, it's going to break up and it's going to loosen inside here. Now I got to get me a spatula to make sure that happens. Alright. Ooh, I thought I almost bought the form and that would have spilled out all over the place. That would have been bad. Meanwhile, gloved hand. Remove the rest of the mac noodles. Gloved hand, that is. That's why we wear gloves, people. And food service, even at home, I try to wear them, especially if I'm working with meat, because number one, I'm a pet owner. Number two, I work in health. I understand. So now, let's break that up a little bit, just a little bit. Just twist into it with the whisk before you get the spatula. Just twist into it gently. You don't want to mash too many of the noodles up. Twist into it with that, and then you can get the spatula and you can continue to mix it in thoroughly, which I'm about to do in a moment. Let me just get this last noodle off of there. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in soak, and I'm going to get a spatula, and we're going to continue to mix it up like that. Alright, cool. Now drop noodles here and then throw this in the garbage. Ah, crap. Alright. And I gotta come and put some new gloves on. Alright, buddy. So as you can see, gloves off. And we're gonna get some new gloves. New glove time. I got ants in my pants and I need to dance. Some James Brown on in the background. Alright. Look at that. See now, look at the noodles. They puffing out more. You looked at them for you concerned they all clustered together and whatnot. But now look at it. Look what the heat and the cheese mix creates. You have your mac and cheese here. And everybody get miffed because their whole perception of all mac and cheese got to be extremely yellow, which is bullshit. Does it taste good? Is it mac and cheese? Like real cheese and real macaroni noodles? Then you good. Sometimes we use different noodles. When we don't have the elbow. Some people like using penne noodles. Or penne pasta, I meant. But look at that. Come and get your plate. Oh, it's not done yet. We gotta bake it. But you bake it for about 30 minutes. 30 to 40 minutes. And let me, matter of fact, get a plate ready for you. That is. We're gonna use for you this time because I have plenty of these that I haven't used. So we're gonna end up using for you, and then we're gonna go with the optional process of putting a layer of cheese on top of it and some breadcrumb. You can do that if you want to, you don't have to. But look, let's just make sure the noodles are broken up as best as they can be. All right, now we're gonna come here. There you go. Now you got your mac and cheese ready to be baked. And we shut the heat off. And look at that, y'all. Just look at that for a moment. Mac and cheese ready to be baked. But I'm not done yet. Let me just clean the spatula. Well, you know what I mean when I say clean the spatula, but give me a moment. God damn, that's good. Delicious. All right, anyway. All right, now the next process is optional right here. The next process is optional. You want to make sure you want to get it even. The next process is optional. Let's get the breadcrumbs and a layer of cheese if that's what you want. Now, here we go. Pans boil. Let me get my breadcrumbs. I just had them somewhere over here. All right, just a little bit. If you want to, you can if you want. Just do this process. Remember, you don't have to do this. And if you do it, use panko if you want to. I'm using just standard breadcrumbs. All right, and then like that. Once again, I must keep reiterating, this is an optional process. Optional. Now, let's go with the cheese. Just a little bit. I'm gonna use the remaining of this fat-free cheddar that I have here. You don't have to be fat-free. This is just me being a little fancy. Nothing major, just for the aesthetics. Most of the cheese, all the cheese and the flavor and everything is going to be on the inside. So you don't have to worry about dressing it or drenching it unless you are a cheese addict. Got that one there. And let me use this one here too. Hold on. And we're going to use reduced fat sharp. I'm using these out. Waste not, want not. Okay? Hey, what's going on, Torian? I am showing people my smoked and spicy mac and cheese, and I'm almost done. The baking process will begin after this, which I will not bore you guys with the details of that, but it's a recipe. Hit me up if you want the recipe. It's mad easy to make if you haven't seen it from the beginning. Anybody, like, hit me up for the recipe in the comment section, or hell, if you follow me on X, you hit me up for that, and there we go. That's all you need. It consists of 3 cheeses, which is on the inside, Pecorino Romano, 3 ounces of Pecorino Romano, 8 ounces of sharp or extra sharp. If you want it to be aged more than a year, have at it. And you need 7 ounces of smoked Gouda. And what makes it spicy, I don't know if you have this, but this Carolina Reaper seasoning I got here. So I use it, a whole teaspoon of Carolina Reaper seasoning, and you're gonna need 1 tablespoon of kosher salt. 1 tablespoon of kosher salt, 1 teaspoon of Carolina Reaper seasoning. Those 2 are the only basic seasonings you need. If you wanna dress it on the top with cheese and cheese and breadcrumbs, that is completely optional. That's on you. But here we go. It's ready to be baked for about 40 minutes, which I told you again, I will not bore you guys with that detail. My video is pretty much complete right here. I came, saw, conquered, made mac and cheese. I hope you guys will look back on this video, get the recipe or get it from me and try it yourself, because I don't put raisins in my potato salad. I like seasonings. And basically, here we are. So anyway, y'all, it's your boy Fury. Thank you for watching. My mac and cheese is good to go. One more thing I need to do first. You gotta top it. You wanna bake it. You don't want it burned on the top. You wanna bake it so you can at least get all those cheeses on the inside to fucking really get gooey, coagulate with one another better than they did with the heat, and form a mold with the noodles or pasta, whatever. I call it noodles. Same shit. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, that's the last step you need to do. Bake it for 30 to 40 minutes in your oven, and you're good to go. So anyway, it's your boy Fury. It's been real. Recording this from my GoPro, so I'm about to be out thank you for watching. Like I said, if you need to hit me up in the comment section, or if you follow me on X, I'll give you the recipe. It's something I came up with. I modified it myself, and there we go. So anyway, y'all, have a good day, rest of the day, and I am going to catch up with on your video touring if you're still watching. Okay. So anyway, y'all, have a good day, y'all. Peace.